from doing it until we can't do it.
Exactly. And then we start to think of, oh man, I should have done.
Right.
And you had no intention of doing that.
Yeah.
And I love that it's not even about meditation. It's not about, but it's just like just taking that deep breath. It really does something to cut off the process of going down that rabbit hole. Like just saying, okay, let me focus on my breathing right now. And it automatically just stops that process dead in its tracks of staying fixed in the past, or the future. I love it. Crystal, do me a favor.
Yes. What?
We gonna shift a little bit to the creativity. So,
no. What you gotta be? You gotta be over there.
Say the word. I can hit you with a beatbox.
You want it?
Did you prepare something? Come on now.
I mean, I didn't really. I could always read an old poem, but I don't know what happened to Nomad, but I mean, Nomad got some rhyme skills too.
So, y'all, I just got to give you a little heads up. Back in the day, when I was also living in Boston, Crystal and I and our friends, we hit the circuit. We did an open mic or two. We may have. Now, I didn't really freestyle. You were more the freestyle, but you also wrote a lot of poetry. I may have rapped a little bit here and there as the Nomad.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, tell me, like, A, if you got something, please, I would love to hear it. And B, just, what your ability in terms of creating and expressing yourself, how that has helped you in your grieving process.
Well, ironically, I had stopped writing before my mom passed away. My mom, who was my biggest fan and always encouraged me, I just got real frustrated and saturated with the scene and the whole concept of being pigeonholed as a poet. So that had kind of stopped. Mm-hmm. I thought maybe I could use it as a coping tool when my mom did pass, but it just made me mad. It just made me mad. So the burst of my creativity sometimes you've seen have been in my Facebook posts, unfortunately. My political analysis, some of my comments.
She gets deep on it, y'all.
Yeah, some of my play on words, some of my hashtags. That's kind of where I've been throwing out little spurts of creativity in the hope of wanting to transform it. I mean, in my head, I'm always having something. But the action of just writing it down, that has been a big motivational loss, I will say. And it hasn't, and again, it's one of those things, you got to feed it to do it, and I haven't really fed it, but bits and pieces do come out.
Right. Well, I mean, and I think what you've been saying even this entire time is it all ebbs and flows. It comes in spurts. Like there will be times when your creativity is much more on point or it's easily accessible, and there are other times when it's not. There are times when you're all in with your therapy, and there are other times when you're not. Like there are times when you feel the sadness and the pain and the hurt, and there are other times when you don't as much. So, I mean, that's kind of what I'm getting from all of this is like, and all of that is okay too.
Right. I mean, it's just, this year has been, so my mom passed in 2014. Mm-hmm. I would say, honestly, this year has been a lot more clearer for me, right? Because I feel like the past 3 years was a fog. So in some ways, I feel like I'm optimistic in the sense that maybe I will write again because I feel like I'm learning to do some things that for the past 3 years, I was in a fog and just either didn't do or, minimalize it or avoided it. You know what I mean? But now I feel like mentally I'm in a better space to go and hang out and see some poetry. Like I haven't even gone to see a poet in years. You know what I mean? I used to love to do community events. I'm actually going to help someone that wants to set up an open mic at a venue that I go to. I'm going to help them to do that.
Okay.
But it's like, if they had asked me to do that last year, I just wouldn't have, you know what I mean?
You wouldn't have been able to do it.
I would have been I'm into it, but the clarity in my body, like, it's hard to explain, you know, it's like, it's not just the clarity of vision and emotion, it's like, even in my body, I don't know, it just isn't hard to explain. It's just, I just feel like a mass has left the building, you know what I mean? A dark mass, or however you want to call it.
Right. But, you know, and to me, that just it goes back to the saying of time changes things, you know, and it doesn't mean that you stop being sad or you stop missing your mom. Like, you know, even, you know, just seeing you as you were talking about her loss and, you know, how it can bring tears back up to the surface. Like, and that's okay. Like, that doesn't mean that you're healing or grieving wrong or you're moving backwards. It just means your process feels different. And I think people confuse that time changes and heals all wounds with you forget or don't cry anymore or something. You know,
I agree. I think that happens a lot. I think that people feel there's like a magic number.
Right.
That happens, that you get over it. And I mean, you know, when my mom did pass, I had older folks and people that were younger than me that had already lost their parents. Like, whether it's 5 years or it's 10 years or 20 years, like, you're still going to have a moment. You know, that's how memories work.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? We still have moments of everything, not just that, you know. So I think that I had to kind of learn that a little bit, you know, just kind of learn that there's no time frame. But time does heal things, you know what I mean? Because it is a little better because of time. But it's also a little better because of work that I've done too.
That's exact. Thank you, because that was my second point I was going to make, is that you've also done the work. Like, you've put the work in. It's not like you took this magic pill and time passed and then all of a sudden you had this clarity. It's no, you have continued to do the work for and on yourself.
Right.
Yep. Our time is winding down, Crystal. You know I could have this conversation forever, but I want to ask you any resources or any, like, whether it's a website or a book or a quote or something that you would give the people as something that could be helpful or has been helpful for you in your whole process.
I mean, clearly there's a great book out there called From Morning to Night that people can utilize.
I didn't tell her to say that, y'all.
To deal with loss. I mean, offhand, I don't know of any national resources. You know, I would encourage people to you know, use what you have in your local community. And if you have a supportive circle of friends and family, to kind of utilize that. I would not necessarily utilize social media as a lot of people do to kind of overly express or overshare their feelings. I definitely would recommend against that. But, you know, if there's a group like the one that, you know, Emily shared with me, in someone's circle, or you start a group that deals with whatever issue of loss that you're feeling, I think that's good.
I love that idea.
I mean, definitely, like I said, music and breathing and all kinds of things help me. You know, and I guess one of the other things that I've learned is there's no tailored response for anyone. While we are humans and do share some of the same basic needs and wants and desires, we are individuals that function very differently. So there's no tailor-made solution. Like, people have to do kind of what works for them in the moment. I don't recommend intense levels of self-medication because that never really helps. But for some people, that's what they do. You know what I mean? Some people will go to the gym. Some people will, you know, be a part of a group or a support group. So I think whatever someone works for them that can make someone feel better, that's what they should do.
Yep. And I love that. And like you said, you know, there's no tailored response. Like, each individual person is different. And not only the person who's the kind of on the receiving edge of the loss or receiving side of the loss, but even the person who is lost, who may pass, that even your emotional response is different to each of those losses, like you were saying before. Exactly. Like for a client versus your father versus your mom versus, there's always a different feeling, and it doesn't mean that you're grieving wrong or it's off. It just means that each person, you have a different relationship with them, and so finding out what works exactly for you is perfect, and it's a work in progress.
Yeah, for sure.
Yep. So if the people wanted to get in touch with you, is there a way that they can reach out?
I mean, I'm not really on any other thing but Facebook. I mean, people can message me personally on Facebook if they're that interested in talking with me or seeing what's going on. That's probably the best way.
Okay. Well, Crystal, let me say this. It has truly been an honor and a pleasure being able to talk to you about, and I know the people will appreciate all the words of wisdom that you had to share. On that note, I'm going to say peace, love, and light to my audience. Thank you all for tuning in.
Thank you. Thank you very much for giving me the opportunity. I definitely appreciate it. I hope that it is helpful to someone, because ultimately, that's the best gift that you can give, is to be able to help someone and give them good information for free.
All right. Peace, love, and light, y'all. I'll see y'all on the next one. From Morning to Action, Powerfully Working Through Loss is a podcast based on Dr. Damon Silas's 2 books. The first is From Morning to Night, Overcoming Loss, and the second one is What's Your Action Plan? 6 powerful ways to get unstuck in your life now. Be sure to check those 2 books out on the website www.damonsilaspsychology.com/store. You can also go on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, or wherever you can find any books, and check that book out there. Furthermore, if you like what you hear, feel free to leave a review, and I'm always looking for guests. So please feel free to send an email to damon@tippingpointwellnessllc.com. And as always, thanks for tuning in. Peace, love, and light.